Hi everyone, the reading I'm going to share with you today is one I done on the Andrew Gosden case. I do have to say before I start that this is for entertainment purposes only. It's my thoughts and opinions, it's not fact. Now, this case is quite unusual, so I'm just going to do a quick run through before I start the reading. So, Andrew Gosden was only 14 years old and he disappeared on the 14th of September 2007. He lived in Doncaster. His parents said in the 2 weeks before his behaviour had changed. There was a couple of times where he'd walked home from school instead of getting the bus, and I think it was like over an hour walk, which was unusual for him. And on the day that he disappeared, he was struggling to get out of bed, whereas normally he would be up and out. It wouldn't have bothered him at all. Apologies, my throat's going a little. So on the morning he disappeared, he got up, he got ready, went out to school in his uniform. Then instead of going to school, he went to a cash point, collected £200, went back home, got changed out of his uniform, and then went and bought a ticket down to London, a one-way ticket. Now, the ticket seller specifically remembers him because I think it was 50p extra for a return ticket, and he was adamant he only needed the one way. He does have relatives down in London. He has grandparents there who he would visit, so he knows his way around London, and it's not like he'd never been down alone before. So getting lost doesn't seem like a thing. So anyway, he went down, got off the train at King's Cross station, and he's last seen leaving King's Cross station at 11:25. There's nothing else seen or heard from him since. I think it's later that day later on that night, his parents realise he's missing. So with the behaviour changes, the first thing I get, and it's everywhere around this case, it's quite a complex one, it's really complicated. But the first thing that I get is like offering money, child services, and I do not mean the parents. I'm getting some sort of trafficking thing here, and I'm automatically going towards the county lines style agreements. I'm not feeling that it's Andrew specifically. I don't feel like he's some little rogue or he's out doing things with substances. I'm getting that this is going on around him. All right, so anyway, there's this group of people around him. Again, I think it's this county lines and these relationships, they're quite toxic people. They're not who he wants to be around. So there's this incident as well. There's an incident with a male in a vehicle, and I'm feeling there's some sort of prison time around that as well. I don't know how it's connected to Andrew going to London, but this incident is around him at the time he disappears. So anyway, off he goes, he gets on the train. Now, he does have connections there, family connections, but what I'm getting from the reading is that's not why he's gone there. And I don't get that he had any intention of staying. I get that he had every intention of going back home. Now, with this one-way ticket, I don't feel like it was because, he didn't want to get the train back. I feel like he would have done. But I get the feeling that he was meeting with someone, this group of people, and I'm getting that there's a vehicle, so he would have gone back with them, whether he was offered a lift, but he felt he didn't have to worry about how he got back home that night. That's what I'm getting from it. Now, what I'm getting from these people, I'm getting sort of younger males, which would be a similar age to Andrew, as well as older males. So I'm getting one that's I'm getting like a figure in authority, a bit like a boss figure. I'm also getting round London, there's all this, there's money and offers going on. So these are the cards I'm getting around why he went to London, what he was doing there. So the first one keeps coming out is obviously the bad habits card. It's his substances and things. Creeping. Now I feel like this is the older people around him. I feel like he's being watched. Someone's, you know, I'm getting a grooming feel around that one. An offer and money. So I'm feeling like when he left for London, he's really optimistic. Things seem too good to be true, but everything, once he gets there, what I'm getting is that nothing goes to plan. Everything, whatever he had in his head, doesn't quite end up like that. And I keep getting this trickery around him, like no one's shown their true face. In terms of contact, I'm getting some sort of fake account. So there's this social media, and I'm getting a fake account on social media. This could be the older person rather than Andrew, but it's not what he expects when he gets there, put it that way. So anyway, why didn't he go home? And what I'm getting from that is that he's trapped. So I don't know what happens with this group of men, but for whatever reason, Andrew ends up trapped. And again, I get this trafficking substances, and I'm getting travel, but I'm feeling this travel is in this vehicle, and I'm getting that that's why no one else is picking him up on CCTV, because in London, even in 2007, people do not just disappear coming out of King's Cross station. It's just not a thing. Even back then there was CCTV everywhere, so that's why strongly I think he got in this vehicle quite quickly, and that's how he was moved around. The cards do indicate that there is still some digital evidence. I don't know why it hasn't been trawled through, why it hasn't been found, but there is still digital evidence that would have Andrew on it, and it hasn't been looked into. Now, moving on into, you know, these first 24 hours in London, I'm going to say, as I said, nothing goes to plan. There's this incident, there's this big upheaval around him, and that's when, you know, things start to come crashing down. Nothing's as it seems, and he wants to go home. Now, this meeting, there's this money changing hands, there's all kinds of things going on, and Andrew feels quite intimidated at this place. It's not what he thought. What I'm getting is that what he thought was that this was going to have an element of romance. When he left, when he set out for the day, there was this element of romance, and instead what he got was this. So this is the devil, this is trafficking, child services, that kind of thing, substances. Now, one of the people that I keep getting in the cards is a male, and around this male, what I've got is that he's wolf in sheep's clothing, and what I've also got is this court case card. So this says STIs and things, but what I'm getting is that this male's ill, and he keeps this secret. There's not a lot of people know about what's going on with him. So that's the first thing, he's sick. And this is only one of the males, there's several others involved. In terms of Andrew's trip, something else I'm getting, and I don't know how it fits in or what's going on with it, is this evidence and these statements. It's like he's trying to gather evidence. He's quite an intelligent kid, albeit quite naive, and he's trying to take, I'm getting photos and screenshots of things. I don't know what he's trying to get evidence of, but there's this research behind that too. It's like he's onto something, and he's going to report back somehow. But these two men in particular, they've kept him hidden from view. You know, it's not because he didn't want to go back home, he physically couldn't go back home. I'm also getting a hotel. So something happened in a hotel, in a building, and I'm getting this female energy around that. I don't feel as though she's part of what's going on as such, but I feel as though she's got some sort of suspicion as to what's happening. She's turning this blind eye to it. I think she's a little scared, but it's not worth her hassle to check this out either. So she's staying away from all of that. And I'm also seeing this party, you know, like drink, substances, not Andrew specifically, but this is what I'm getting going on around him. This is the best way I can describe it, is this organised crime sort of thing, where there's trafficking, where there's grooming, where there's substances, and somehow Andrew's got caught in the middle of this. Now, in terms of finding Andrew, in terms of solving this, I'm getting a few things coming out in the cards, and they're coming out constantly. And the first one is travel. So I'm getting this overseas travel, and I feel like it's this group of people. They would travel from, you know, they'll do different countries and then they'll come back to the UK. And I'm also getting another female. Now, the second female I get, I feel like she's connected to Andrew through another young male. So I don't feel as though she's not family or anything like that, but she is connected to this other young male. And what I'm getting is that she has some sort of digital evidence. She's searching for someone similar age. She's searching for him. She's got digital evidence, and there's a link between Andrew and this other young male. It's DNA. Now, these people who had him trapped, that they're repeat offenders, and that's why I'm getting that this DNA exists. And this woman, I feel like if she doesn't know specifically what happened to Andrew and this other young male, she's got this idea in her head and she's along the right tracks with it. She's pretty much the closest out of everyone who's looking for them, but I feel like she's related to someone else and she's looking for them, and that's how this ties into Andrew. Now, the man that went to the police station, he went to the police station, it was the intercom, and when they went down, he'd left. So what I'm getting in the cards from him is that he's suspicious of, I'm getting a family member here, he's quite suspicious, and he's getting something to do with the substances and trafficking, that kind of thing. And he was going to report it. Now, he didn't wait around, because what I'm getting is that he was afraid, he didn't want to be caught out, and he left. This letter that appeared later, I'm getting is someone different. It's not him. I'm getting that someone sort of stole his identity, if you like, but it wasn't from him specifically. And the two males that were arrested, around them, I'm getting that they know something, or have an idea of something. I feel as though they're in those circles. So whether or not they were involved in Andrew's disappearance specifically, they've got a good idea as to what's going on. I am going to do a second part on this case, but it's like this huge web. It's like it doesn't specifically involve Andrew Gosden, it involves lots of young people. With where Andrew is now, and this is what's quite unusual in the cards, normally I'll get a strong sense of what they're doing and whether they've passed. With these ones, what I'm getting is that the Andrew Gosden that people knew that child. Like, he's gone. Apologies. So with this case, the overarching thing that I'm getting is that it's bigger than just Andrew Gosden. I'm getting that there are a number of young people in this case, and I'm getting that there's an overseas element as well. There's quite a lot of things going on. Whenever I try and ask where these, where Andrew Gosden is, where these young people are, what I'm getting is that they were moved. I'm getting this travel around it, and I'm getting these children coming out, and I'm getting that some are alive, some have passed, but I am going to do a second part to it, focusing on Andrew specifically and try and figure out where he is.